They predicted the end of the world. They were wrong. At 3:14 a.m., December 21st, 1954, a small group of believers huddled in a suburban Chicago home, eyes fixed on the sky. They weren't waiting for Christmas. They were waiting for a flying saucer, sent by beings from the planet Clarion, to rescue them from the catastrophic flood that was supposed to engulf the Earth at the stroke of dawn. This was the group known as the Seekers. Their leader, a woman named Dorothy Martin, operating under the pseudonym Marion Keach, claimed to receive telepathic messages from extraterrestrial entities. These messages, filled with cryptic warnings and divine directives, formed the bedrock of their beliefs, promising salvation to the faithful few. The Seekers weren't just a fringe group. They were a fascinating case study for social scientists. A team of researchers, led by psychologist Leon Festinger, infiltrated the group to observe their reactions when the prophesied apocalypse inevitably failed to materialize. What they found would redefine our understanding of cognitive dissonance. Martin, a seemingly ordinary housewife with a penchant for spiritualism and a history of dabbling in various esoteric beliefs, found herself at the center of this burgeoning cult. Her initial messages began subtly, then grew more urgent, culminating in the precise date of the world's end. The prophecy itself was bizarre. A massive flood, triggered by a geological shift, would wipe out humanity, save for those chosen by the benevolent aliens from Clarion. The chosen ones, of course, were the Seekers, who would be whisked away to safety on a flying saucer. As the supposed date approached, the group's commitment intensified. Members quit jobs, left spouses, and gave away their possessions, convinced earthly belongings would be meaningless after the Great Cleansing. They were all in, betting everything on Martin's celestial communications. The night of December 20th was a whirlwind of anticipation. The group gathered, awaiting the first sign. Martin claimed to receive a new message. The saucer would arrive at precisely midnight. They waited, silent, watching the clock tick past 12:00 a.m. Nothing happened. The clock kept moving. The saucer didn't appear. The initial euphoria began to curdle into confusion, then doubt. But Martin, ever resourceful, quickly received another message. The clock had been wrong. The saucer would arrive at 4:00 a.m. 4 a.m. came and went. Still no saucer. The flood was still hours away, but the immediate crisis for their belief system was far more pressing. The tension in the room was palpable, a suffocating blanket of disillusionment. This was the moment Festinger's team had been waiting for. The dissonance was immense. They had sacrificed everything, publicly declared their belief, only to be met with stark reality. According to Festinger's theory, when deeply held beliefs clash with undeniable evidence, people experience psychological discomfort. They seek to reduce this discomfort. This could manifest in several ways: accepting the evidence and abandoning the belief, reinterpreting the evidence to fit the belief, or seeking social support from others who share the belief to validate it. The Seekers chose the latter too. Then a miracle, or rather another convenient message. Just before dawn, Martin announced a new revelation. Their unwavering faith, their vigil, had actually saved the world. The aliens had seen their devotion and canceled the flood. Think about that for a moment. Instead of admitting error, they reframed the entire event. Their prediction hadn't failed. It had asterisk succeeded asterisk in a different, more profound way. Their belief wasn't challenged. It was strengthened, validated by the non-arrival of the apocalypse. This wasn't an isolated incident. After the non-event, the group, which had previously shunned publicity, suddenly became evangelistic. They called newspapers, spread their story, eager to share the truth of how they had saved the world. Their desire for validation exploded. Festinger and his team observed a profound increase in proselytizing. The need to reduce cognitive dissonance drove them not to abandon their beliefs, but to recruit more people, to convince others, thereby solidifying their own shaky conviction. The Seekers eventually disbanded, as most such groups do. But their story remains a powerful testament to the human mind's capacity for self-deception and the insidious nature of groupthink. It wasn't about the aliens. It was about the psychological need to be right. The story of the Seekers isn't just a quirky historical anecdote. It's a foundational text in the study of cults and social psychology. It illustrates how readily people will rationalize, reinterpret, and even deny reality to protect their core beliefs, especially when those beliefs have cost them dearly. The devastating impact on individual members, while not as dramatic as some cults, was still significant. They lost jobs, severed family ties, and faced ridicule. The initial hope of salvation morphed into a desperate need for justification. Dorothy Martin herself faded into obscurity, her prophecies unfulfilled. Yet, the mechanisms she inadvertently exposed within her followers continue to play out in various forms today, from political echo chambers to modern-day conspiracy theories. The Seekers teach us that the power of belief can be a double-edged sword. It can inspire incredible acts of faith and selflessness, but it can also blind us to inconvenient truths, trapping us in a cycle of denial and rationalization. Their story serves as a stark reminder. Cults often thrive not just on the charismatic pull of their leaders, but on the psychological vulnerabilities of their members, eager to believe, even when faced with overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The Seekers, with their failed prophecy and their subsequent, elaborate explanation, offer a chilling glimpse into the human mind's desperate need for internal consistency, even if it means twisting reality into an unrecognizable shape. The end of the world didn't come that December morning. But for the members of the Seekers, a different kind of reality ended, replaced by a narrative they painstakingly constructed to protect the fragile edifice of their faith. Explore another deep dive into human psychology and delusion by subscribing.